Wrestling Show. I just love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know who I am. I am the Mark of the Master Mallow Plant. Big Ray here to stay to talk some wrestling today. Yes, Lord, ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday Night Raw, 10/17/2016.
That's it right there. And no matter what you do, keep the camera on me. You hear me? Listen, are you tired? Are you dead tired? I mean sleeping on your computer, on your phone from these lowlifes and amateurs trying to cover Monday Night Raw. They don't even keep it raw with you. Who can do such a thing? I know a guy. He's coming. Very soon. Until then, enjoy the amateur hour. 'Cause I promise, I will keep it raw.
The return of Bill Goldberg. Holy cow. Let me tell you something, guys. It's been a long time since I actually sat in front of this microphone. It's been a long time since I sat down in front of my television and watched the entire 3 hours without fast forwarding, without DVRing and all that good stuff, and actually watch Monday Night Raw. And I got to be honest with you. The show was a little slow for me, but I did enjoy certain parts of the show, especially the end of the show. Anyway, we're going to get right off to this show right now. And the show basically kicks off with Kevin Owens in the ring. And, you know, he starts off with his best buddy, Y2J, and they're going back and forth. And he's stating how Mick Foley has a vendetta against him, so on and so forth. I really love these two guys together, guys. I mean, but, you know, all good things must come to an end. You know, Jericho comes and he does his best job at selling the Hell in a Cell, and he tells everybody they're on the list. You're on the list. I mean, you gotta love Chris Jericho, man. Seth Rollins comes out. Seth Rollins, excuse me, I can't speak tonight, comes out, and he basically, you know, number one, unbelievable ovation ever since the guy's turned babyface. I think it's one of the better turns. Now, wasn't a big fan of the way he turned because nobody really knew whether he was a babyface or not, because it was kind of what we call a soft turn in the business. But long story short, Seth Rollins did come out to huge cheers, mocking Y2J. And we have a new hashtag, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new hashtag for Chris Jericho. He is now hashtag Sparkle Crotch. Unbelievable. So anyway, so we have Sparkle Crotch in the ring, and basically Rollins is in there, and Rollins is kind of trying to cause friction between the two. Rollins basically challenges Y2J, and Y2J asked his best friend Kevin Owens. He doesn't want him there when he is fighting Seth Rollins. Well, the two actually hug, and Kevin Owens leaves. And Kevin Owens is like, are you sure? Are you sure you want me to leave? Yeah. Chris Jericho, you know, Sparkle Crotch. We'll call him Sparkle Crotch tonight. Yeah, man. He wanted to basically just fight Rollins on his own. I mean, he is a 6-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I don't think he needs Kevin Owens. But listen, man. During this match, which was Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho dominated most of the match. You know, it was a solid match. At the end, we have Seth Rollins who's trying to come down. Excuse me, Seth Rollins. They're going back and forth. Seth Rollins starts to get the upper hand, and he's on the top rope, and he's about to come down on Chris Jericho. But guess what? Guess who comes up? Guess who shows up? Kevin Owens. Now, if I'm correct, Y2J did ask Kevin Owens not to come to the ring. But anyway, so it causes kind of a distraction, but the distraction kind of backfires where Chris Jericho, guys, Chris Jericho is in that ring, and Chris Jericho's outside the ring, and Seth Rollins comes down on top of him from in the ring out onto the floor. It was a pretty decent match, guys. I really did enjoy this match. I always enjoy when Y2J is in the ring. He is the best thing in the WWE, or one of the best things in the WWE right now. Well, certainly one of the best things on Raw. But man, Y2J going for his code breaker, and unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, well, you got it reversed. Well, not unfortunately, depending on who you're rooting for. I kind of root for the bad guy. I mean, that's kind of my thing. But anyway, I'm a born heel. But anyway, pedigree for 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins the match. Then we go into a pre-recorded segment with Charlotte, and she basically puts herself over as the best. And I thought these pre-recorded segments actually were done pretty darn good. They had one later in the evening, which I guess we'll get into, briefly, but I don't want to really spend too much time on this because it is a 3 freaking hour show. And, Charlotte puts forth a good case for herself. She's never injured, and she doesn't need the WWE Universe, so on and so forth. And basically she's won 12 straight pay-per-views. I didn't know that until she really actually brought that up. So that was actually pretty decent. Good promo, and of course, the beautiful and lovely Lita, who doesn't look a day older than when she left the WWE. She looks fantastic. Man, I wish. Is it just me, guys? I would like to leave your comment below at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestling Video. Hit me up on Twitter at Big Ray Show. I would love to know, would it be cool if Lita would come back for one more match? Maybe 2 more matches. I don't know if she has any extensive injuries or anything like that, but I would love to see Lita back in the ring. But anyway, we go into an interesting match, 6-man tag team match. You have the Golden Truth, or Truth and Goldust, with Mark Henry versus EPICO and PRIMO. Now, backstage, apparently EPICO and PRIMO, along with Titus O'Neil, who I don't understand this. I'm totally confused over this. Is this guy getting a push? Was he not getting a push? I mean, I guess, technically, whenever you're on TV, see, people get confused with the whole push thing. They think that because you lose every single week, you're not getting a push. No. The fact of the matter is, in the wrestling business, if you're on TV every week, that's a push. That's good. You're on TV every single week, and Titus O'Neil is pretty much on TV every single week. But yeah, he loses again. Well, let me explain to you how this match started. Basically, long story short, you have EPICO and PRIMO trying to sell some fake Rolex watches backstage, and they trick Goldust. I'm sorry, they trick R-Truth into taking the match. If you guys lose, then you got to buy all our watches inside. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. I can't put this over, man. I thought this. I didn't enjoy this match. It was okay. I mean, I love Mark Henry. I mean, Mark Henry catches the huge, because Titus O'Neil is a huge guy, catches him mid-air, hits him with the world's strongest slam for the 1, 2, 3. Was what it was. Then we move backstage, and Chris Jericho is backstage with his best friend in the world, and they get into a bit of a verbal confrontation, and Chris Jericho basically calls him, he says, "I told you to stay backstage, you stupid idiot." And he gets cut off. He gets cut off by Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens puts him in his place and tells him, "I am the WWE Fruit Roll-Ups champion." I'm sorry. The belt looks so delicious. Looks like a piece of candy and stuff. I'm sorry. The WWE Universal champion. And anyway, Chris Jericho goes on and explains to him that he's a 6-time WWE, and of course, the first ever undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion, beating The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin the same night. But anyway, neither here nor there. They get, they kind of work things out when Stephanie McMahon comes down, and she basically calls them out because Survivor Series, Stephanie McMahon, Raw needs a strong team. Let me tell you something. SmackDown is such a great product. I'm enjoying TNA. Man, 3 hours of Raw. All right, so let's move on to Sheamus versus Big E. Yes, we have Sheamus, who is teaming with Cesaro, and he faces Big E, and of course, 420 weeks as tag team champions, the New Day. They indeed do rock. I mean, the guys, look, this is the deal. Do I believe that Sheamus, actually, let me cut myself off. Let me go towards the end of this match. But before that, I got to tell you guys something. Big E, that apron big splash that he does, guys, again, the apron of the ring, the outside of the ring is the hardest part of the ring. That is the steel frame. That's a tough bump, man, to take from a 300+ pound man. And Big E really hit that splash, jumping almost 6 feet in the air, bro. Really coming down. But yeah, that was awesome. And anyway, you have Cesaro outside on Facebook Live, just and somehow he becomes a distraction to Sheamus, and Sheamus is watching him, and well, gets rolled up by Big E. I would have liked to have seen Big E hit his finisher, the big ending. I mean, these are two big guys. I mean, these guys were beating the living hell out of each other most of this match. It was a decent match, and yeah, he wins by a roll up. So look, do I think? Now let me get back to my original thought. Do I think that Cesaro and Sheamus will in fact become the tag team champions? No. Why? I believe that the New Day will eclipse Demolition's run as the longest reigning WWE World Tag Team Champions. That is my belief. I want to know what you guys think. Again, leave your comments here below at onewrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestlingVideo. Then we have Bo Dallas. Well, actually, he's more like, yeah, what's wrong with this guy? A lot of people think that he's going to be joining the Wyatt soon. You ever notice that he looks like he's not getting much sleep? Got some real big bags under his eyes. He looks like he's in much better shape, that being Bo Dallas. Backstage, you know, he got his buddy Curtis Axel, who's encouraging him, you know, telling him that, you know, he's believed in him from the very beginning. Well, this was an interesting match. We have Bo Dallas versus the man that creative forgot, that being Neville. What happened to Neville? But anyway, listen, man, pretty decent match. There was a real cool spot where Neville was on the apron outside. I think he was trying to get to the top rope, and Bo actually did like this spinning leg sweep. Think about the 619, but around the bottom rope. Anyway, it was really good, really well done, really cool. He was very aggressive, that being Bo Dallas, the entire match. And Bo hits his finisher for the 1-2-3. He actually goes over Neville. Almost, I'm not going to say a squash match, but it was close to it. He really beat the living hell out of this young man. That being Bo Dallas beating the hell out of the man creative forgotten Neville. But yeah, man, then you have Curtis Axel, who's freaking celebrating with his tag team partner, or celebrating with his friend. And, yo, Bo attacks Curtis Axel. Now, let me tell you something. I actually called this. I don't know if I called this last week. I think I called this at the pay-per-view preview show. But anyway, I knew this was going to happen. And Bo is probably going to go into a feud with Curtis Axel. And, you know, I don't want to spend too much time again on this. But Curtis Axel, man, the son of Kurt Hennig, the son of Mr. Perfect. I don't know. I take a drink of this. I really don't know what to say about that. But anyway. We move into another match that was actually kind of strange. This whole show was, in my opinion, strangely booked. It moved like molasses, very slow. What's that animal? The sloth? It's like the slowest animal in the world. It's just, anyway. That's how this show felt to me. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't say it was bad. I'm just anyway. Well. Dana Brooke versus Bailey, and Bailey, this was weird, man. Bailey, I don't know what's going on. Bailey was outside the ring, and she got slammed into the ring post from the outside of the ring, and then she kind of like gets thrown, like pulled back into the ring. Now, check this out. I want you guys to review this. Tell me if I'm wrong here. Dana Brooke pins her and gets the 1-2-3. Pins her clean. Now, I don't think it was supposed to be a clean finish, because even the guys calling the play-by-play, that'd be Michael Cole and the rest of the bunch there, they seem to be extremely surprised. And this is why. I strongly believe that Dana Brooke was supposed to utilize the second rope or one of the ropes for leverage in that pin. It wasn't supposed to be a clean pin. It was supposed to be a dirty finish. Well, Dana Brooke's legs were a little too short, or the positioning was not right. Again, this is what I saw. This is what I observed. I want to know, maybe you guys saw something different. And at one point, I saw her little leg kind of reaching for the rope, but there was no rope there, and the referee counted 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that was just a weird weird finish. Then we go into another weird match. I hate using the terminology weird, but it is what it is, man. Braun Strowman versus the Mile High Trio. One of the guys, I forgot who said it, but said he looked like the quarterback from San Francisco. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. The kid with the big fro now. Anyway, Colin Kaepernick. Anyway, no, not Colin Kaepernick. Doesn't matter. But these three guys had absolutely no chance against Braun Strowman. I mean, Braun Strowman week after week is coming down telling Mick Foley, listen, man, I want. Well, he doesn't say listen, man, like that. Listen, I want. You know, he's a monster. He talks for anyway. Comes down and says that he wants real competition. Well, he fought three guys. A power slam and a freaking front face choke slam later. 1, 2, 3. He goes over. Now, Strowman's about to go backstage because he said, look, I'm tired of this garbage. I'm tired of these enhancement talents. Oops, almost called them the J word. Beat the living hell out of these guys. Was going to go backstage and just start causing havoc. When, in fact, Sami Zayn comes out to the ring. Well, that is real competition. I mean, he doesn't match up physically, but Sami Zayn is a badass opponent. Well, are they feeding Sami Zayn to Braun Strowman? I don't know what you guys think. Hit me up on Twitter or here. But, you know, he gets in the face. He just shows absolutely no fear. Sami Zayn has no fear, to be honest with you guys. Formerly El Generico on the Indies, ROH, so on and so forth. But this guy is just a maniac in the ring, and I think it's going to be a fun match to watch. It's going to be the old Rey Mysterio versus the Giant type gimmick, and I think it's going to be pretty good. I think Braun Strowman is going to win. Where do I think they're going with Braun Strowman? Eventually, they'll probably put him in the ring with a guy like Mark Henry, then the Big Show, then maybe Kane, and then maybe perhaps they're setting him up for something big. I'm not saying the Undertaker big, but something relatively big. Now, I was talking to Bill after. We were Facebook messaging each other, and Bill said it would have been really cool if Bill Goldberg would have came out and speared Braun Strowman and kind of just ended everything. And I don't know if, I mean, listen, I'm not going to disagree with this guy. I mean, he's been in the business since the early 70s, but, you know, in my opinion, I think that, you know, you had to save Goldberg. You don't want Goldberg touching anybody until he finally gets in the ring with Brock Lesnar. That's even if he accepted Brock Lesnar's, you know, request to get in the ring with him. But anyway, so now we go to another segment. And there's only one part of this segment. This is Rusev and Lana. There's only one part of this segment that actually made me laugh. And this is when Rusev was making fun of Jesus. He's making fun of the Samoan family, how big it is, and that being of you know, The Rock's cousin. You know that guy. And yeah, man, he started making fun, and he said something along the lines that Roman Reigns' family takes turkey legs and dips them in mayonnaise. I got hungry, just a little hungry. But anyway, listen, this segment was way too long. Oh, wow. I don't know how to put this over, and I'm not going to. This segment did not impress me at all. I thought it was just too long. And again, this falls back onto the fact that WWE is on that whole three hour thing that they need to go 3 hours. And I think it's a little too much wrestling, too much TV, too much sports entertainment for one night. But it is what it is. Rusev and Lana are standing in the ring talking, and Rusev decides to introduce his entire family. And I don't remember, did his mom or did his father have the mustache? His father, I think. He started showing his father, his brother, with freaking doing pizza thing or what. I don't know what the hell was going on there. Weird segment, man. Long. Finally, Roman Reigns comes out and calls Rusev. He says, look, you're not as handsome as your handsome dad with the mustache. You're more like the family dog. And Lana comes in and smacks Roman Reigns. And, well, the smack was pretty decent, I guess. I mean, he did get distracted enough to get a super kick right in the face from Rusev. Then Rusev destroys him outside of the ring, brings him into the ring after hitting him with the steel steps outside the ring, brings the steel steps into the ring, and puts him in the accolade in the ring on the steel steps. I don't know how that's supposed to actually hurt more. Anyway, maybe it's more of an aesthetic thing. But yeah, man, we move quickly forward, and we have Big Cass versus Carl Anderson. And my God, how the mighty have fallen. Oh man, I was so excited to see the Bullet Club come to the WWE, and I really wish those guys were on SmackDown. I'm serious, guys. Carl Anderson, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows, one of the meanest, baddest, best tag teams in all of professional wrestling. Big Cass hits the, what does he call it? The East River Crossing. East River actually is like half a block away from me. East River Crossing for the 1, 2, 3. And then you even had little Enzo take out. He took out the big guy outside. I'm sweating like Goldberg was in that jacket. Anyway, listen, we'll get into that later. But seriously, man, this was just... And then we move on again. We have TJ Perkins backstage with Brian Kedrick. Bunch of cruiserweights backstage. Equals bad acting, in my opinion. But anyway, you have Drew Gulak back there. And listen, Drew Gulak had some really great matches with Evolve just recently. I think it was this past weekend, depending on when you're watching this video, 10/17/2016. Anyway, Kendrick was discussing something with Gulak and the other gentleman. Tony Nese, excuse me. Tony Nese, I like Tony Nese. And I love Brian Kendrick, but Tony Nese is awesome. I love that guy. That guy's powerful. Really, really cool. But I don't know, they were discussing something like Tony Nese is like, well, as long as you hold up your end of the bargain type thing. I don't know what the hell's going on. So maybe these guys are going to do a run-in at the pay-per-view possibly where TJ Perkins will lose the Cruiserweight title. Remember I said that, guys. He will lose the Cruiserweight title. Again, this is my opinion. But, yeah, they go back and forth and they talk about how this is not a video game and how TJ Perkins, you know, you think you have multiple lives or endless lives like in a video game like WWE 2K17, which, guys, if you want to send me a free copy of WWE 2K17, send it. Just private message me on Facebook and send one to me. We'll work something out. I haven't gotten it yet. Money's tight. Holidays coming. Anyway, yeah, man. So out of nowhere, so you have the three of those guys, and then Rich, and then Brian Kendrick is saying, look, you have no friends. I'm down to my last life. Brad being Brian Kendrick. You want to call this a video game? I'm down to my very last life. He goes on with that whole, this is his last shot gimmick. And listen, man, you have two other gentlemen come down, Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann. And apparently, because Brian Kendrick said you don't have any friends, but apparently he did have some friends, that being TJ Perkins. But anyway, that was that little thing. Shortly, come back from break, and we have the Sasha Banks interview with Lita. Again, Lita looking absolutely fantastic, Lita. Anyway, and Lita asked one question that I picked out here. Lita asked about the back issue and says that maybe Sasha got a little ahead of herself at SummerSlam, but she's back and better than ever, 100%. It was good. I actually liked the Charlotte Flair pre-recorded segment interview better, but both women selling this match, I think they did pretty well. So, pretty decent. And listen, we move on to the Cruiserweight match. It was a typical crazy Cruiserweight match with all your crazy spots. At the end of the match, we had Kevin Nese going to the top for the 450 splash on Swann. And then Kendrick tags himself in and locks in the captain's hook. Now, TJP is trying to get back in the ring, that being TJ Perkins, the Cruiserweight champion of the WWE. But Gulak holds him back, and eventually Swann had to tap out to the captain's hook. So again, this was a solid match. This was a good match. Listen, when you have six gentlemen in the ring, six competitors in the ring that are so good at what they do, you can't go wrong. This was actually a really, really good match. Really enjoyed it. Really cool. Then we have Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon backstage, and Mick is upset, that Steph kind of, answer change challenge without kind of asking the general manager of Raw. I don't know, whatever. They go back and forth. Finally, they talk things out, and Mick Foley's like, "Oh, I was never going to turn it down. I don't walk away from a fight." That type of gimmick. And Stephanie high fives him. And listen, this relationship is going to end up bad. It's going to end up being extremely toxic. You and I both know that. It's just me and you here, by the way, guys. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Now, I can't believe I ran through 3 hours of Raw that quickly just to get to this point. Because I'll be honest with you, the only reason I really watched Raw live tonight was because of this one moment. And I got to be honest, I didn't think I was going to have the what's the word? I didn't think I was going to be not emotional. I didn't think I was going to be get the goosebumps, but I did. Man, let me tell you something. This moment was special, and I did get goosebumps when I saw they called him the greatest WCW champion of all time. I actually think it was Ric Flair, even though Ric Flair was more of an NWA guy. But yeah, maybe Sting. Anyway, you could go so many different ways. But Bill Goldberg, possibly, you know, top 3. But Bill Goldberg, man, he came, and I love. Thank you, WWE. When Sting first came out, and they changed his music, that really pissed me off. And I love the fact that they came with the original Bill Goldberg music. Bill Goldberg coming to the ring. I have no idea why, but he comes into the ring and he cuts a passionate promo, and I loved the reaction from the fans. You could clearly see how the friends and family there to see him. His son was there, his wife was there, who never seen him in the ring before. Bill Goldberg, 12 years, over a decade. I realized that at this point in the juncture right now, there may be 1 or 2 people watching this video that have never seen Bill Goldberg in the ring, really, or don't remember it. If you're 14, I don't think you remember it. If you're 2. But listen, man. Listen, guys. This guy was a beast. And he's older, a lot older now. But, man, I mean, honestly, it did spark an interest. The nostalgia factor was there for me. The guy was very comfortable. It looked like he was very comfortable in the ring, very emotional, very humbled by the whole experience. And it was so cool to hear the fans. Nothing piped in. You know, back in the day, WCW used to actually pipe in crowd noise. But no, not this, man. This was totally legit. This was totally real. Bill Goldberg was just hugging everybody, high-fiving people. You could tell he was really happy. And I like to see that. I really like to see when somebody comes back into any sport or any type of line of work, and you could tell that they really are happy to be back. And he even said, you know, you guys didn't forget, it's been 12 years, and just really cool. He was catering to the fans, doing his own you know, Goldberg thing and stuff. And listen, man, just awesome. Well, basically, did Bill Goldberg say yes? Well, not only did he say that Brock Lesnar was next, but Brock Lesnar, you are last, my friend. And apparently next week on Raw, again, depending when you watch this video, 10/17/2016, next week on Raw, Brock Lesnar will be at Monday Night Raw to retort the acceptance of allegedly the challenge that never really happened, because Paul Heyman, who had spoken earlier today, said that it was, you know, this wasn't really a challenge. It was kind of like a rhetorical thing, you know. And Bill Goldberg, you know, did speak about how it was supposed to be just like a WWE 2K17 thing. And anyway, man, listen, all in all, I thought this was excellent, an excellent segment. The show in all, oh boy, 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. That's all I got to say. 3 hours. And I enjoyed, anyway, 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think Bill Goldberg is going to actually go over here? You know, people are saying no. I don't see why not. I mean, Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. Bill Goldberg this will be his last match. I mean, or is it? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, look, I say this every single time I do a video, anytime I'm on a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Follow us on Twitter here at One Wrestling. Follow us as a family here at One Wrestling, and also follow us at Big Slam Nation. Follow legendary Bill after One Wrestling, and of course my tag team partners, the guys that help this engine keep going. Let's start off with Billy Ray Valentine. You can follow him on Twitter at Obi-Wan You Know Me. The Pharaoh Fancy, 8-Track Brown. Follow him on Twitter at The Pharaoh Fancy, 8-Track Brown, The Pharaoh Fancy. OKayFabe, Connor OKayFabe. Follow on Twitter at OKayFabe. It's OKayFabe. You got the show, Bill Schuyler. Follow him on Twitter at UGOTDA, the show. Follow him on Twitter at You Got the Show. And of course, next week, guys, here's the deal. Next week, FAMEBLACK will be coming. He will be taking over Monday Night Raw, and it's going to be something that Man, it's gonna be like the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes is gonna be something that's gonna be so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. Let me tell you something, Daddy. It's gonna be FAMEBLACK covering the WWE like no other, Daddy. Anyway, very bad American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me here at OneWrestling.com. You can find me here at One Wrestling Video on YouTube, and you can also find me at WrestleZone.com, where I do cover TNA Impact and your Impact hashtag it with Ben Hameen, Ben Impact Rebellion show every single Friday. Oh my God, I almost lost every single Friday, guys. The podcast form, you can check that out. Also, my personal podcast. Just search Big, not the, but just Big Ray Wrestling Podcast. You'll find that, guys. I talk everything pro wrestling, guys, and I had an awesome show with Andre Corby over. We had a podcast version of the Can-Am Wrestling Show. If you haven't heard that, it's the very last episode. I believe it's episode 8 or 9 or 7. I really don't know. But guys, look, thank you for joining me here for this review and breakdown, recap of Monday Night Raw 10/17/2016. Guys, I believe Bill Goldberg is going to make a little more of an impact than maybe they're leading on. Who's next? Brock Lesnar's next. But is Brock Lesnar really his last? Well, in the words of the legendary Bill Apter, I'll see you at the matches. Peace. Love you guys.